Hi again, it's been a wee while. It's your man Jim Byrne, and I don't know if you can hear me. It's been a struggle to get on here for some strange reason. It's not been working. But I thought I'd come on to the Facebook live stream just to tell you, to mark the fact that I've got a new album out from today called A Scottish Child from the 1960s. Now, takes a lot of work to put these things together. I put my heart and soul into writing the songs and recording them, and every breath, every silence, every noise I've been invested in. So I feel I'd like to mark that by telling you that my new album is out today, and I'm very proud of it. And I think it's got a lot of great songs on there, and I think you'll probably, well, I think you'll enjoy it. I think it's got some enjoyable songs, and I think your time will be well spent having a wee listen to it. But one of the main things I thought I'd come on to do is to tell you that a lot of people helped me to put this album together. So it's important for me to thank those people. And I've got a wee list to start with, just to tell you who I'm going to thank. Mary Kay Burke, who of course did lead vocals on Smile With Me, which I would definitely recommend. It's probably, to be absolutely honest, the Spotify listeners liked that one a lot, so thanks Mary. Ruby Shah, who did the backing vocals on If You'll Be Mine. Robert Ruthven, who did backing vocals, I think he probably did some backing vocals on quite a few of them, but certainly on Take My Heart. Warren McIntyre, who also did some backing vocals on I'm Just an Informer and Don't You Know I'm Innocent. Kurt Baumer, the absolutely amazing fiddle player, and when you listen to the tracks, I'm sure you'll agree with me, he did an amazing job on the ones that he's on. I'll have a look, I'll have a wee chat about some of these songs once I get through the folk that I thank here, and I'll tell you just how amazing I thought he was in some of those songs. Carolina Teruel, Teruel, who played cello on If You'll Be Mine. Lejoe Young, my long-time friend, drummer from over there in America. Is it Nashville or is it Texas? I apologise, Joe. I apologise, Lejoe, if I'm getting it wrong. I think it's Nashville that you're mainly working out of. And Mark Freegard to co-produced one of the tracks with me called Love Breaks in Many Ways. And of course Pat, who listened to every single demo of every song that I tried out when I was writing them. So I would write something, and of course I would play it to Pat, and then I would judge whether there was an apparent positive reaction, which would encourage me or not encourage me. And I'm not absolutely sure if Pat, what do you call it, wrote any lyrics on these particular songs, but she's certainly written some lyrics in the past. And of course Lesley O'Brien, who co-wrote or has co-wrote some songs with me, and she's co-wrote a song on this record as well. Another mega talent. So just to kind of run through these songs, I'm not going to play them to you, but I'm just going to play my guitar nonetheless. To transition to this next bit. So the first song, in fact, I haven't mentioned Janet Crawford, which is in my list, but somehow I jumped over. But Janet Crawford wrote a poem which ended up becoming the first song on the record. That song is called Coming Up for Air. And that's the song which opens with birds singing, which are birds that I recorded when I stopped with Pat in a cafe. What was the name of the cafe? I can't remember the name of the cafe, But we were going up to Cranelarrick at the time. Or is the cafe in Cranelarrick? I think the cafe was in Cranelarrick. And we sat out and had a coffee, and these birds were singing sweetly in the hedge to my left, to Pat's right, as we had our coffee. And I pulled out my iPhone and I recorded them. And those are the birds you hear on that particular track. The song itself is about a minute long, very short. And it's really about reawakening after COVID. So thanks, Janet, for that poem, which then I lightly worked on to turn them into a lyric. But every idea that's in there comes from Janet. So thanks, Janet. It's just me on guitar. It was the first take. There was no learning the song. There was no band. There was no playing with anybody. I picked up the guitar, 20 minutes, looking at the lyrics. And the first time I played it through, I recorded it onto my computer. And that's what's on the record. So there's no long part where I learned it and changed the arrangement until I liked it. It was just, well, Pat's just come on and told me it was the Artisan Cafe in NR Cranelarrick. Thanks, Pat. So Pat's clearly watching, making sure I get it all right. That's great. Thanks very much. So that's the first song. The second song on there is a song called A Heart Made of Gold, which I don't think anybody else is on that apart from me. I'm playing everything. I'm playing the piano on it. I'm playing the guitar, I'm playing the bass, and I'm playing the drums. And it's quite a kind of melodramatic song. Hard to describe. It's definitely a relative of country music, but it also draws from a kind of 60s, what can we say, European or French chanson. Well, that's not how you say it. I'm sure that's not a word. But that kind of torch song, I suppose. So it's that combination. It's like somebody from France try to write an American country song and completely failing. But they sound like themselves, or in this case, sound like me. And the song's a success in its own right. So that's that one. It's followed by a song called You'll Be Mine. Or what was it called? I wish I could remember the names of my own songs. Or is it I'll Be Yours? You'll Be Mine. Must be You'll Be Mine. You Will Be Mine. It's ridiculous that I can't remember the names of my own songs. Really ridiculous. If You'll Be Mine. If You'll Be Mine. It's a strange mix. It's a finger-picking song. Again, it's got a folk, 60s kind of folk feel to it, but it also has a kind of classical feel to it. It's got a cello played wonderfully by Carolina Teruel, T-E-R-U-E-L. She plays fantastic cello on it, which gives it a real atmosphere, melancholic kind of feel to it. Again, quite dramatic. And I like to thank Ruby Shah. She's singing backing vocals on that song and doing a wonderful job adding to the whole show there. I mean, I'm not going to say everyone's my favourite song, because they're all my favourite song. I like them all. And if I would say that's my particular favourite, I would have to say the same the next time and the next time and the next time. I love the song. I love what Ruby did on it, and I love what Carolina did on it. And I love finger picking on that song. I love playing it. So that's that one. Simple. Again, there is nothing other than three things: me playing finger style guitar, a cello, and vocals. There's nothing else on it, but it creates a world. The next one on the album's Mary Kay Burke, Burke on lead vocal on a song called Smile With Me. It's an incredible lead vocal, which she came up to the house. I have a very clear picture of Mary and Sean. Is it Sean? Our partner in the living room with this microphone in fact was the one I think I set up for that particular session, and it was just a great evening listening to Mary learning the song and putting it together and putting her performance together, and you've definitely got to check that one out. It's a cracker. I suppose it's a song about mental health. It's about support, how important it is for people to give other folk support when they're having a hard time. Bittersweet and sort of song. There's a sadness in it, but you're also saying, I've got your back. Everything's going to be fine. And of course, Mary with her Irish lilt is perfect for that. Also got some backing vocals on it from Robert and Angus Ruthven. I set the song, metaphorically speaking, in a folk club, so you hear Robert and myself and Angus singing along as if we were in a club, and then clapping at the end again as if we were in a club. So there's a kind of that kind of atmosphere to it. That's what I was aiming for. The next song is a song called Sweet Maria. It's a old style country song. When I say old style, probably 1960s going into 1970s kind of area, not way back in the 30s so much. And it's just me and acoustic guitar, nothing else on it. Again, that's a simple arrangement. And I wrote this song for Samina Chowdhury. Samina knows why I wrote it for her, and I'm not going to go into that. As long as Samina knows, that's fine. I love the song. It says what I wanted to say. And that's all I can say about that song. You just have to listen to it yourself. Next song has got Warren McIntyre on backing vocals, and Warren also sings on a song called Don't You Know I'm Innocent, and another song called I'm Just an Informer. I think these might be the two songs that have got drums on them on the record. More kind of rhythmic band songs than the rest of the album. Don't You Know I'm Innocent is got more kind of oblique lyrics. I suppose I'm Just an Informer also less direct. Both of these. I enjoyed going. Actually, we went to Johnny Smiley's studio over the Clyde towards Govan Way, and in the studio had a good, enjoyable afternoon with Warren, recording Warren doing some backing vocals on both of those tracks. Some vocal magic from Warren on those ones. Again, I like the songs. They are a bit more left field. Certainly, Don't You Know I'm Innocent's a bit more left field. The seed or the catalyst for that particular song is a bit of a story around somebody. No, I would say stalking. That's a bit of a strong word, but certainly somebody who was following me around for a bit. Pat will know what I'm talking about there. It was quite a few years ago. But that was where that song came from. And I'm Just an Informer. It's really about how it's very difficult for people to change. Very difficult for anybody to change who they really are. It doesn't matter how much we try. It's still to get away from ourselves. We might decide to go and live in another country, but we take ourselves with us. So that's what that's about. Take My Heart, another one of those songs where I'll say it's one of my favourites, like they all are. This in particular is one I enjoy because I co-wrote this one with Lesley O'Brien, and it's got so much in it for me. It's just in a kind of a other world. What's that phrase for? Beyond the physical world. It conjures up spirits, and it also conjures up a kind of Scottish spirits, which I think was what one of the things. Obviously, Lesley's a very talented person and heavily involved in writing the song, but Lesley brought a lot to that song and made it. That's where the personality and the character is informed. I love that song. It's a good one. That's an old. It does sound quite old worldy country. A bit kind of. I know in my head what I'm trying to say, but I cannot remember any names of anything, including any genres. But it's also got some amazing work on fiddle by Kurt Baumer, unbelievably great, and some backing vocals again, which are equally unbelievably great by Robert Ruthven in the choruses. I recommend that one. Check that one out if you want a wee taste of the album. And you think, what would be a good one to dip my ear into? To mix my metaphors, you can't dip your ear in, unless it would be quite messy. But you could dip your toe, but I don't think you could dip your toe into music. But you can. Let's stop this one now, Jim. Very confusing. But I like that song anyway. And on the album is my very first ever instrumental. I don't think I've ever recorded and put an instrumental out before, but I recorded a small, very short song. It's not even a song, it's just an instrumental called Take Time. I'm playing finger-picking tune. I think it's about a minute long. But in the background you will hear the birds chirping again, because I wrote it really to put a lid on the album. It starts with the birds chirping away and the album finishes with the birds chirping away. It's a full circle. Which reminds me, I've actually missed a song out, which is the one which I co-produced by Mark Freegard. I think it's called Love Breaks in Many Ways. It's a much more produced song. It's got a much more modern feel to it because of the production techniques. It's probably even got, what do you call it? What is that modern instrument which has escaped me? Synthesizer. It's even got a bit of synthesizer on there. And it's a bit dark, I suppose. But again, it's another song I really like. I don't know why it's not on my list. But then, as I say, the whole thing ends with an instrumental, which is called Take Time. I just told a lie, it doesn't end with that, because there's a bonus track on the album. And that bonus track is me singing a song from the last EP called Blind Blind Fool, and I'm singing it with Linda Jaxson. We went up to visit Linda, and I think I'd just written that song. So this is me playing it to Linda and Linda singing along with me, and I recorded it on my phone. And I loved it so much, I thought we need to put that on the record, just as a bonus track, as a closing track, as a wee extra, because it's great to hear Linda singing. She's got such a great singer, and she does a great job. And there's something quite good about a song that I had just written. You're hearing it for the first time. It's not the same arrangement as the one that's on the last EP. Entirely different. It's more folky. So it's something that's you're not going to hear anywhere else. So it's a wee bonus for you. So that's the new album. A Scottish Child from the 1960s. It's on my Bandcamp. just type Jim Byrne Bandcamp and you'll find it if you're on Google. That'll not be difficult to find, and it's on all the streaming services, so check it out. Hopefully you're still around and I've not bored you, but thanks if you've been listening. Thanks, I'll catch you again. Bye.